on SEO. My name is Alistair Duff. I run the sixth digital exchange for APAC. Firstly, I'd like to thank NextRise for this conference, which I think will be hugely impactful. But I'm sad that I'm unable to come to Seoul to be there in person. I think of all the COVID restrictions, it's the lack of traveling that's the toughest one for me. And I do look forward to the day I can come to South Korea again to meet you all. So today, I'm going to give you an overview of what we are doing at the sixth digital exchange, why we're doing this, and also give you an update on recent key developments. Firstly, a bit of background on me. I've been banking for over 25 years. I moved into the blockchain and digital asset space back in 2015, and delighted to be part of SIX's journey into this new paradigm. So SIX, as you can see here, is led by Jos, our CEO. SIX is known for its integrity, robust financial market infrastructure, and world-class risk management and security. But people don't realize on the other side of how innovative SIX has been when we see a paradigm shift emerging. We were the first traditional exchange to go fully electronic in the 90s. And over 2 years ago, our CEO, Jos, and the board recognized that we're in the process of an even bigger paradigm shift, one that will completely reimagine financial markets over the next 10 to 15 years. We wanted to capitalize on this unique position we have. SIX runs the entire securities and payment rails for Switzerland and is uniquely positioned to help drive new business opportunities and value for both new and existing clients. And if you think back a couple of years, it was indeed a bold decision at the time. It may feel obvious now that there's such wide adoption and understanding and belief in this space. But 2 years ago, it was very early. It was a bold decision to set out to build a full end-to-end digital asset trading, settlement, and custody service. So as you can see, the full traditional financial market infrastructure is being built in digital form and to cater for digital assets. So you can look at this and see across listing, trading, clearing, settlement, custody, and payments. SDX is developing these services. And if you look below that, the Swiss exchange, it looks like to some extent we're disrupting ourselves. And if you ask that question, are you disrupting yourself? Well, yes, is the answer. There are many strategies a company can deploy when it comes to new technology. Most companies are going to be slow to adapt and will get disrupted. You just have to look at the top 10 largest companies this year from even 10 years ago. And there's only one left that were in the top 10 last 10 years ago. It's quite dramatic change. And with the pace of change of technology, you're going to see this accelerate over the next few decades. So really, there's a bunch of strategies that institutions can use. Some will be fast followers, but only a small number will take the lead. There's risk-reward considerations in every approach, but when it comes to building liquidity, liquidity begets liquidity. And a follower approach in this space has a very high risk weighting, which is why we have decided to be an innovator. So our approach is somewhat unique for a large financial market infrastructure provider. We believe the 30-year-old technology that current financial market operate in at the moment, and even the nature of the financial products we have available today, will be enhanced and replaced over the next 10 to 15 years. The SIX exchange continues to provide value to our clients within the traditional model, if you see in the bottom left corner of that box, across bonds and equities. And the SIX digital exchange is creating new additive value and business models alongside this that cannot be achieved with traditional existing technology. As SDX develops new cutting-edge technology, some of this may be utilized by a traditional exchange, giving a unique opportunity to continue to upgrade and provide value for the SIX exchange over time. In 10 to 15 years, when the markets are fully moved to digital assets and converged, we will likely end up with just one exchange. But over that journey, we're going to be providing value and a bridge to our clients across both worlds. This slide really gives you the three kind of underpinnings of what we need to do to be in a position to win. I've mentioned driving new business models. That's key for those that take the risk of being innovators. That's where the margins are, and you have an opportunity to lock in the market. As I mentioned, liquidity attracts liquidity, and that at the end of the day is the most important thing for the type of services that we're providing, which is liquidity for our clients. And you're going to likely see a concentration on those platforms that are really driving this and providing the most value in the earlier stages, whilst the rest catch up. And tied into that is the network effects. This is a multi-sided platform. First movers have an opportunity to set standards and drive both sides of the market to get on board and be involved. So this is our mantra: grand ambition, big impact, small steps. So what is our grand ambition? Well, it's global liquidity. This is the holy grail for institutional digital assets. Well, we believe that true value is found at the intersection of previously walled gardens. You can see this in many places, even within your organization. Breaking down the walled gardens across divisions, allowing greater access to data, for example, where the whole is greater than the sum of its parts, clearly, or even the value that's extracted from breaking down walled gardens between traditionally technology and the business teams. Having those teams work together accelerates innovation, and it can have quite dramatic positive effects. So from a macro perspective, really there's tremendous unrealized value that comes down from breaking jurisdictional silos, for example, asset class silos. That includes the convergence of crypto and traditional assets, as well as retail and institutional silos through the democratization of finance. So as you can see, we have what is actually a very grand ambition, and it can seem an overwhelming ambition. It's a big goal. So the key really is really focus on that as a guiding light, but to be razor focused on the small steps. Grand ambition, big impact, small steps. So one of the small steps, well, small steps for me personally, given I'm in Asia, feels huge, but it is very much a small step in the journey towards our grand ambition, is the exchange we are setting up in Singapore, the Asia Digital Asset Exchange, which is a joint venture between SBI and SIX and SDX. This partnership, I think, is very unique. We have a shared vision of what the future will look like in the financial markets of the future. And we both bring significant ecosystems to the table. The SBI, for example, very broad reach of countries, over 21 countries. They have offices predominantly in Asia. They are very experienced in the securities space, for the second largest venue for Japanese stocks in Japan, crypto exchanges. They have a number of diversified companies, from asset management to banks in Japan, and are the largest online broker in Japan, with extensive networks and an extensive digital asset ecosystem globally. And SIX provides the European angle with the 122 member banks, third largest exchange operator in Europe, and known for innovation. So we bring the Asia and particularly the Japan ecosystem along the European ecosystem to meet in the middle in Singapore for the Asia Digital Exchange. So Singapore was a natural first small step for us, given the progressive regulatory environment for digital assets provided by MAS. We are currently working towards establishing a full digital asset exchange across crypto, and that will include crypto derivatives, as well as digital securities. This then allows us to open up the Swiss Singapore corridor for digital assets, and after that, the Japan corridor. So over time, we'll expect similar partnerships in other jurisdictions. Our clients are global. They want access to global opportunities with reduced friction. However, a key inhibitor really in this growth is that many jurisdictions are still working through their regulatory positions on digital assets, and this takes time. A byproduct of this work is that we are now going to be driving standards through these connections that we'll have. The lack of standards within digital assets at the moment is a really key inhibitor and many prefer to sit on the sidelines. But by doing something real, by setting up these corridors, this is driving global standards, which will benefit the wider market. So now I'll give an update on some key developments within the SIX Digital Exchange for 2021. So this has been our journey. Back in 2018, it was really around the strategy as we moved into 2019, building the tech. But last year was really the market validation and adaptation phase. A key component of that was working with FINMA. We are a regulated financial market infrastructure player. We only deal with regulated clients. So that process is a critical part in our path. 2021 is the commercial focus. So this is market expansion. For example, Singapore and Japan. It's also product expansion, moving beyond and working with clients across a range of products that can add value to the market. And of course, the client, less glamorous, but a critical part, the client onboarding and ultimately the monetization of all this work that's been going on over the past few years. And this leads us to the SDX vision, which is to be a next generation global financial market infrastructure ecosystem that empowers everyone to translate their ideas into impactful commercial realities. So one of the key initiatives you'll see this year is for a true native digital bond. This will be a large bond as part of the bond index. It will be, just given where we are at this early stage of evolution, this will be a traditional bond with a component of it being digital. This will allow our more progressive clients who want the true native digital asset to have it from the start. But also, if liquidity takes a while to build up, if the market is slow to adopt, this bond is fully fungible with the traditional bond. And likewise, those who have taken the traditional bond, as they develop their systems and are ready for digital assets, they can, it's fully fungible with the digital. We'll expect this is how the market will evolve. It's to help the clients along this journey. And this provides them with the comfort and security to get involved in a very careful, deliberate way. The main benefits that are driving, or the commercial value around this digital bond issuance, is one key component of it is the automation of corporate actions. Takes out a lot of friction and a lot of work and a lot of time and a lot of inefficiencies out of the current process, lowering operational risks and ultimately lowering costs for the banks. The other thing is we have a continued collaboration with the Swiss National Bank, the Central Bank of Switzerland. We've been working with them on a number of projects around central bank digital currencies, along with BIS, the Bank for International Settlements. And we have discussions with a number of other jurisdictions. It will be some time before we see wide-scale adoption of central bank digital currencies. We're seeing it in some jurisdictions already, but it's over 70% of central banks are looking at central bank digital currencies. You know, they will come. It is a journey, and we are delighted to be part of help shaping the future. This will drive considerable opportunities and benefits for the digital market ecosystem in the future. So one of the key challenges that our clients are facing is that of standards. And again, with any emerging technology and asset class, standards are a key challenge at the beginning. We don't believe standards are, and actually you can't look at many great examples of standards being created by a bunch of people sitting around a table in a room. Standards get driven by real product. So what we are doing is we are on the board or part of a large number of digital asset communities, the Global Blockchain Business Council, Interwork Alliance, to name a few. But the idea is we are doing a lot of real work that's driving real product, and to feed this back into these various groups and similar players in the space doing the same. And that way we should accelerate you know, the adoption of a common set of standards, which this market needs. At the moment, we have been seeing many institutions working with small groups of institutions, each using different protocols and different technologies and slightly different use cases. And that is great for a learning experience for proof of concepts, but doesn't drive standards. So this is another key part of what we're doing. And I think overall, our approach is that this is not a winner takes all opportunity. This is about partnerships. This is about building ecosystems. As you've seen, as we've branched out into Asia, we've partnered with SBI in Singapore. We are very keen to partner with like-minded players across jurisdictions to really help build this this ecosystem and really drive towards what we believe is a much better future than we see today. So so thank you very much for your time. If anyone feels they would like to be part of this ecosystem and there's opportunities to explore in Korea, please do reach out to me. Very happy to chat and hopefully see you all in Seoul one day. Thank you very much.